Did you accidentally get married at the H&R Block without knowing it? It happens. I'm Oklahoma attorney James Worth, and I'm about to tell you how. All right, this is one that actually comes more frequently than you would expect. We've got somebody who's contacting us regarding a child dispute issue or property issue, and they find out for the first time that they've actually entered into a common law marriage. And most of the time when that happens, it happens at a tax preparation office. And what people don't realize is that common law marriage in Oklahoma doesn't require you to be living together for a specified amount of time. And it doesn't require you to necessarily, fill out any fancy paperwork. It's all about whether there was a meeting of the minds to be married. And the most common proof of a meeting of the minds is, have you held yourselves out to the public as being married? And the primary way we see people prove that they've held themselves out to the public as being married is through the filing of a tax return and holding yourself out to the IRS as being married. And because there's a tax advantage to being married, we see that happen in tax preparation offices in order to save some money, sometimes without the parties knowing it. So if you go into your tax preparation office and you're going with your significant other, you've been residing together, but you haven't, been married to your knowledge, you haven't held yourselves out as married, you might get the offer from them and say, hey, we could file this as filed married and it will save you money on taxes. If you say yes and you sign off on that, you're telling the federal government that you're married. And that is a primary type of evidence in order to actually establish a common law marriage. And they're frequently established that way. So you got to know those consequences. So if you're into those circumstances, you filed a tax return listed as married, even though you don't consider yourselves to be married, you might need some help trying to get that resolved, because it could come down to, well, did you hold yourselves out to the public as being married because you're in a common law marriage? Or did you fraudulently file a tax return stating that you're married? Well, generally it's better to answer that one the first way, but although common law marriage may be easy to get into in Oklahoma, it's not easy to get out of. Once you're in a common law marriage, you have to go through a divorce to dissolve that, just as if there was a marriage license on file. So if you find yourself in these circumstances due to filing tax returns or something else, don't just take this general information. You're going to want your specifics covered. So talk to an Oklahoma attorney about that. If you'd like a consultation with my office, go to makelawEasy.com.